Hello everyone, and today we're going to talk about the top 5 worst moves in Loomian Legacy. So these are probably the worst moves in the entire game, and my gosh, there are a ton of awful moves in this game that I probably never used before. So let's head right onto this list. So number 5 onto this list is actually going to be SWAT. So SWAT is a 45 power brawler type move that uses 32 energy. Currently, it can only smack the foe. That is literally its description. Smack the foe. Not only that it's probably the laziest description of all time, it's a 45 power brawler type move. And I know what y'all are thinking. It's going to be a very good starting brawler move. Except that punch is way better considering it does the same damage and it uses 12 less energy. SWAT will be good in the future once Levitate comes out, because once Levitate Loomians come out, SWAT will actually deal double damage to those Loomians. But right now, SWAT is horrible, considering that punch outclasses it. It's not a bad move, and it's not the worst move in Loomian Legacy, but the fact that it gets replaced by a starting move definitely puts this at number 5 on the list. But it will be buffed in the future, and it will be pretty useful once Levitate comes out. Number 4 onto this list is actually going to be Take Root. Take Root basically is a support move, which makes you implant your roots in the ground to slowly regain health. But there's a massive flaw. This prevents you from leaving the fight, meaning that you cannot swap out after using a Take Root. Not to mention that it also uses 50 energy. While it is a good move to get HP back, there is another move. Let's just say there's another move that does the job better than Take Root. Sap Plant. While it does have a chance to miss, it uses 15 less energy, and it actually damages the opposing Loomian. So why would you use Take Root over Sap Plant when you can't even swap out? Take Root is definitely one of the most useless moves in the entire game, considering Sap Plant outclasses it. Number 3 onto this list is actually going to be Power Scythe. It's an electric type melee move that does a whopping 20 damage. It also uses 32 energy, and it even has a chance to miss. It does have a good secondary effect though. Attacking the foe will begin draining a little of their energy per turn. And while that is a nice secondary effect it has, the damage is so low, and the fact that it can miss really doesn't help. Considering that there are other moves that can get rid of energy, like the freeze effect in Maroon. And not to mention that just bartering like heavy shield or heavy armor onto other Loomians can make them use more energy. Just makes Power Scythe a very useless move. Not to mention that there are not many Loomians that get this move, and the fact that it only does 20 damage, the same damage as Taze, really doesn't make Power Scythe that good, and that's why it's number 3 on the list. Number 2 onto the list is actually going to be Fungus Curse. This might be one of the worst moves in the entire game. You click this move, and you cast a spell that swaps the effectiveness of light and dark type moves against all plant types. So if Fungus Curse is active, light types can actually hit dark plant types, but dark types cannot hit plant types. And while that can be good, the problem is that you waste a move to put this effect up. So unless you have a full plant team going up against a full dark team, if they ever live a hit against a dark type, that will be the only time this move will ever be used. And even then, it's on a turn limit. So why would he ever use this move to begin with? It's not a very good move. It doesn't do the job well. And there are pretty much no reasons to ever run this move in your inventory. There are so many better effective moves that you could use over Fungus Curse. And it's one of the most useless moves in the entire game. Some honorable mentions I'm going to talk about on the list are going to be a few interesting moves. We have Peck, Examine, and Leaf Barrage, who are probably some of the worst moves in the game. Leaf Barrage is on here because it makes no sense. It's a range move that lowers melee defense. Why? Why does it lower melee and not range? I don't know. There's even other moves I did not list, like Second Wind and like Examine. Like, those moves also really suck. And there's also Give Up. But the only reason I do not have Give Up on the list is because it's only accessible to Bag of Tricks. You cannot actually get Give Up as an actual move. So there's no way to actually obtain Give Up other than from Bag of Tricks. So that's why Give Up is not on the list. Despite that, though, Give Up is the worst move in the game, but it does avoid number 1. The worst move in Loomian Legacy is Aim. There is nothing else to say. Aim uses 10 energy, and you take a moment to focus your aim on the target. Your next move will not miss them. It's good if you don't want to miss your attacks, but it doesn't matter when you actually can just use a move. You can actually hit the Loomian twice. Instead of aiming and then hitting them, you can hit the Loomian twice, especially if you have no chance of missing. Aim could actually be a good move if you had moves like Sheer Cold or Fissure in the game, but since there are no moves like that in the game, Aim is pretty much absolutely useless. Just use a move that's 100% super effective, or just risk that you won't miss twice in a row. There is no reason to use Aim, and that's why Aim is the most useless move in Loomian Legacy. So here it is, the top 5 worst moves in Loomian Legacy. And I know that I did not explain all the moves in the game. There are way more awful moves that I couldn't just specify on this list. If there are any other bad moves, tell me in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all all later. Bye-bye!